Hello everyone, it is DawnMarie here. I am here to share with you a project. It is a tag flip. I had a request from Misty Blackburn of Mac Jewelry Shop that she had some new digital prints she worked on, and she wanted to know if I was interested in working with them. So I came up with a project. I also did some work for her a couple weeks back with a postcard that she also has available in her shop. So if you're interested in checking that out, you can go back a couple weeks of my videos and see that. So, like I said, excuse me, allergies are really bad right now. This is a copy of the 2 digital prints I used, 2 sheets, and I printed them on 1 sheet of paper just so that it would be easier, but you can print them out obviously any size you want. This is what they will look like if you print them out on white paper or white cardstock. They definitely have a vintage feel. Now I chose to print mine on this cardstock, and if you can see, it almost has like a coffee or tea stain effect to it, which made it easier for me, so I didn't have to do that myself. So I printed both of those out on a full-size sheet, and when I did that and I made my project, this is all I had left, just these 3 little pieces. So I thought I did a really good job with using those up. I'm also going to take a quick minute here to show you some of the products I used, just because I know you crafters, you well-versed crafters are familiar with all this stuff, but I think maybe with what's going on, there's some new people trying some things. And just in case they're not familiar with a lot of the products that we typically use, the real popular items, I'm just going to go really quickly over them. I'm not going to stay long. Okay, so for my base, for my tag flip, I use these little tags. I don't know, one of the popular crafty stores. Use those. And then the Tim Holtz Distress Ink, the vintage photo color. This is probably the most popular ink pad that most of the crafters use for distressing the edges of their things, distressing photos. This is very, very popular. So if you're new and you don't have this, you'll see the ladies use that a lot. Stickles. A lot of them like stickles. It's like a glitter glue, but the glitter is very fine and the tip is very fine. So you can get just the tiniest little details if you want to add a little sparkle to something. That's also going to be mentioned a lot. Watercolor pencils, they're mentioned enough. What's great about these is you use them like a regular colored pencil, color in your photo, take a brush with a little bit of water and go over it, and it makes it look like instant watercolors. Very nice product for adding a little color. And then, of course, your lace trims and things like that. So next to my desk, I'm sure you all have something similar. I have a little glass dish where I keep all kinds of scraps and bits and pieces of all kinds of things. So when I work on small projects or embellishing, I have these things handy. And then I have another little dish with the pearl bits and beads and little things like that. So I used a lot of those today. So on to the tag flip. So on my first tag, which is my cover, I used this page here, and I used this image right here. Okay, and I added some watercolor pencil to give her dress a little color. I put a little white on her glove. It's a little hard to see. I did some stitching on the sewing machine and distressed inked the edges, added some little bits and pieces, a little tiny white safety pin. I'll give you a close-up of that. So with that cardstock I used, it really definitely gives it a vintage feel. Now when I finished this one and I had the threads hanging at the bottom corner, I did not cut them off. Instead, I strung some beads on there, some pearls and a clear glass bead, just to add a little decoration to that cover piece. And then when you flip it, I left the back of all the tags plain so that if you wanted to do some journaling or add some of your own things, you could. Number 2 is a postcard theme. Oh. Looks like a vintage postcard. There's a green stamp here. It's marked post date California. This all is part of the digiprint. I did add a little blue over here. I added a little green rhinestone, another little applique here with a little flower, and of course the stitching and the distressing on the edge. And then this page here is from this section right here. And I added again the distressing and the stitching and just some little embellishments. Blank on the back. This one here is from this print here. Right in here. And again, I added a little bit of watercolor pencil. I added a little green up in here. Added a butterfly, rhinestone, and some trims. And then this one here, creating a shadow. I want to make sure you can see these. I use this portion here. Now here's where the stickles come in. I used some stickles around here and some more watercolor pencils and a little applique piece up here. And next we have this image, which is from right in here. Right in here. And some cotton trims and little appliques, little coloring. And then the last one is this area here. And cotton trim and distressings and stitching, watercolor pencils, and I added some little pearls inside the applique. And then I tied it all together at the top with just some little bits and pieces from my little dish, little scrap pieces of trims and fibers. And so again, page number 1, page number 2, page number 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So 7 tags to make my little tag flip. So that's it for today. Thank you, Misty, for asking me to work with some of your prints. I had a lot of fun. Enjoyed it. The more I'm working with paper, getting more creative. Like I said, I usually work with fabrics and laces and doilies and trims like that, but I'm enjoying working with paper and still adding in some of these pretty little fabric pieces that I like. So head over to Misty's shop. She's got some other things in there also. So if you like working with digital prints, things like that, she would be Mac Jewelry Shop. So if you have any questions about it, just send her a message. Other than that, everybody stay home if you can, and be safe and be well. Until next time, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.